Hey everyone, Sly47 here. Happy New Year. Gonna go over the update notes. I know better late than never, right? Hopefully. But you're gonna go over, also, I kind of wanted to play some of the new ships in the Shipyard. And I say new, but it's like some of them gotten buffs. So I wanted to make sure I gave you my most up-to-date opinion before I accidentally stick foot in mouth. You know, I do that often. You can ask my wife sometime. But let's go into this with the patch coming out last week or so. Let's go over, there's some current bugs I wanted to quickly go over, kind of let everyone know what's going on. The Aegir did get fixed, so I'll make sure you update your game to 501. That was fixed because of the historical camo was for some reason not giving it weapons. That's a great little bug there. Workshop issue, so the workshop port actually will prevent you from loading back into your port if you die early, so make sure to switch off from the workshop port. It's the new port from last month's battle pass, if I can talk. And then also, for me specifically, I don't know if anyone else is having this, so let me know if you are having it. But I'm actually having game stalling, kind of like a freeze up in the game for about 4 to 5 seconds. I haven't gotten Android to tell me that I should, crash the app out, but it definitely just freezes and then goes back. I'm just like, and sometimes it comes in the most inopportune moments. But other than that, let me know if there's any other bugs that you know of down below, and don't forget, subscribe if you like more content like this, hopefully a lot sooner next time. I'm not planning on leaving anytime soon, so I'll have more up-to-date information for you, and not days delayed, if not a week delayed. I'm glad all y'all love me somehow, but either way, let's get into the update. Okay, so first major thing of the update is a new game mode called Grand Battles. 12v12, domination epicenter, 2 carriers per team. That could be a problem, but other than that, it's a event mode. It could be fun, could not be. I think the fun is going to be part of getting on stream and getting a bunch of people to all load in, and then we all focus fire one person just for the hilarious of 12 guns all going at one person, which would be hilarious. But other than that, cool. I don't know. Where's Battle Royale Wargaming? It's still in the career missions. I'd like it back. I think there's some cool ways you can adjust it, make it better. But yeah, the 2 carriers are my big problem with this. But other than that, it could be fun. Who knows? All right, the next part of the update, Shipyard rotation. Now, the Peanut Gallery has definitely been very vocal that they have a problem with this Shipyard. I am going to kindly disagree and agree at the same time. So let's go through it and go over costs and whether or not it's worth it, and then I'll add my comments at the end of the overall idea of this. So, Tier 6, we got the Battleship Dunkirk for 40 copper. Not bad. I actually don't mind it. 40 copper is pretty easy to come by realistically by just playing, getting Legend, and doing stuff like that. I think Dunkirk is a great ship. A mini Richie, but not the same power level. It's kind of been power crept on, but overall, still pretty good. Tier 7, Z39 with 35 copper. I do like that it's cheap, but it's still not worth it. Especially when you have another ship for copper coming up soon. So, yeah, Z39 is kind of blah. I kind of covered it in my short that I put up. It's not really anything worth writing home about and not worth using your copper for. Tier 8, Black Amagi, 55 steel. In my opinion, good. I like the Black Amagi. I do. It's better than the regular Amagi. It's better than the Key. It's a solid ship for the tier, but you have to like the Amagi. You have to basically be like, hey, I like the original Amagi, but yet I kind of want a better version of it. So if you're in that crowd, it's definitely worth it. I think so. Lenin, 50 steel. No, this should have been a copper ship. This should have been for 60 copper or something like that. This is not worth 50 steel. It's incredibly hard overall for people to obtain steel at a reasonable rate, and putting 50 steel into the Lenin, no. As much as it was fun to grind and I got it for really cheap at when I did, here, no, please don't. There's better ships to put your steel into. Black Monarch, 65 titanium. What the literal are you smoking, Wargaming? That is not worth 65 titanium, let alone most ships for 65 titanium are tier 10s or tier 9s. Not this. No. Slap this back down to, give this the 50 steel treatment and I'll buy it immediately. The Black Monarch is a blast, but that is way too costly. That is on borderline Thunderer levels. Do not do that. Tier 9 Kronstadt, 90 copper. Worth it. Worth it. That's amazing. You get copper at a pretty reasonable rate over a few months. You can easily pull good 40-50. Let's say you had 40-50 already saved up. You're going to have a great tier 9 cruiser. Absolutely accurate. Brutal sniper. Love it, as much as some people disagree and say that the Siegfried's better, but I'd say Kronstadt's better. But that's not going to start a flame war in the comments at all. Next up, tier 10 Somers for 65 steel. I think this is actually a pretty decent deal. In my opinion, if you like kind of trollish DDs or kind of the run-of-the-mill DDs, because realistically, once you start firing off, 16 torpedoes and then another 12 torpedoes, you start getting plenty of hits. It's definitely one of those volume of fire ships, but it's got great skills. It's got smoke. It's got 4 really decent guns. I like it. I enjoy the Somers, but you have to be kind of willing to realize it's kind of a troll ship at the same time. But you can actually use that troll, unlike the Benham, where I feel like that just, I don't know, it's really weird. The Somers technically is really the same ship, just with torpedo reload, but it feels so different. I think it's because of the guns, and that actually work. So, Ohio, I actually played a little bit today, 50 steel, 50 titanium. A bit pricey, and they buffed it just a little bit on the health, but in my opinion, that's still a good ship to get. It is still a very solid tier 10 battleship, especially if you have the Montana. If you like that ship, you're going to like the Ohio. They are sister ships, just different guns. One's volume of fire, one's massive pen and big guns. So, in my opinion, Ohio, it's a good pickup. I don't blame you. I would definitely say go for it and such. And now the Colbert. The buff on this thing, I'll eventually get back down to it and kind of explain it more. That thing is a bat out of hell. That is a 6.5 second quarter mile, if I'm remembering the references like that. 45 steel, 45 titanium is a bit pricey. It is a bit pricey, and I said last time that the Buffalo was pricey at 40 steel and 40 titanium. To me, it's hard to say that it's really worth it, but if you want a troll tier 10 that just pumps out so many rounds and is just that troll effect of just shooting so many rounds and being so quick. Like, I have dodged shells by just going forward. That's how fast it is now. So it's fun. I enjoy it. If you want those and you like those troll ships, I think you will enjoy it. 45 steel, 45 titanium is a bit pricey for me, but at the same time, it's still so much fun, and I'm really enjoying it on my press account because I'm poor on my main account. So, yeah, that's really my thoughts. Personally, I still think, realistically, having, in my opinion, more ships that are worth it than not are better than the last 2 or 3 shipyards. So, I'm happy about that. What I kind of will agree with the people who don't like this section or don't like the shipyard rotation is I don't like the Black Magi and Black Monarch in here. I really don't. I would much rather have black ships stay those limited time offers that come up every now and then rather than be there all the time. And I know black ships might be easy for them. Hey, change out a skill, pop a black skin on it and call it good, and they can resell it and everyone enjoys it. To me, I would much rather have this be just regular ships. Regular, in my opinion, actually troller ships. The Somers and the Colbert, I think, fit this entire shipyard idea wonderfully. It's like, hey, you want to have some fun? These are some fun but decent ships. The Ohio's definitely, and the Kronstadt are amazing ships, and the Black Magi, Dunker are great ships. It's just, I don't know, the black ships just, I can agree with the crowd where, they're just like, hey, this shipyard rotation kind of sucks. I'm like, kind of can agree. I kind of can agree. It is one of those things where I don't like what the black ships are there, and the Black Monarch's cost is way too high. But let me know your comments down below or on Discord. Join the Discord if possible, mid-video plugs. Okay, so ultra graphics quality. Let's talk about this. In my opinion, this is the move towards maybe a PC port? Maybe. Who knows? I think we need to keep on pushing them for a PC port, because in reality, add anti-aliasing, add some additional texture qualities, if that's not too hard, DLSS, field of view, and better audio, and bada boom, bada bing, you have a PC port. I'm not going to lie, I tried this ultra quality graphics on full screen on my 1440p, 144 hertz monitor. It's not looking too shabby. It's a little, like, the models are, I think, one of the bigger problems. But, yeah, I feel like this is the beginning of a PC port, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. But I'm not gonna get my hopes up too high, but I think we can keep on pushing and prodding to add that, because I think that would be really great for our community. Just because, hey, Legends just moved to mobile, let's move Blitz to PC, just like World of Tanks Blitz. Come on, not hard. So, camera position settings, and I really had to play around with this to see if I really ever want to use this, but it brings your camera a little closer to your ship. I think realistically, if you're in a brawling ship, oh, this is fun. This is good. This is perfect, beautiful, it's great, and such. Outside of that, not really worth it. No. So the next thing up is the item names in drop rate details. I think it's pretty self-explanatory of what it wants to do. The one thing that I find interesting is that content with a limited time duration will have the remaining time displayed next to its name. I'm wondering if we're actually going to get kind of like an Aces crate that kind of constantly rolls out throughout the week or something. I think that'd be kind of a cool concept if you happen to get an Aces crate key for free. Then it kind of gives a little different duration to it, gives that FOMO effect. Account deletion, this is probably just some GDPR stuff that they have to comply to, so make sure that all of your account stuff is deleted. That is a European thing for anyone who's asking. Other additions, if I can talk right. The updated 3 pages to match the new UI style. So we got the exchange page, the level up pop-up, and the received title pop-up. Obviously, they're still trying to work through that UI revamp that they did earlier this year that went oh so well, but now I think it's kind of dealt with most of the issues. Still haven't figured out if I'm going to do another review of 5.0 within that, but we'll see what you guys all want. See if in the comments down below if you guys want that, along with new battle music. Awesome, cool. More music, kind of more variety. I'll take it. And on to bug fixes. We, of course, probably can read them off. Where's the generic fix crashes? As a person who ran into a lot of crashes, and I'm betting a lot of other people watching this ran into plenty of crashes too in 4.5, and are still running into some crashes in 5.0. If it weren't for them acknowledging certain bugs that have popped up and said, hey, we're going to work on a fix really quickly, I would have actually made this whole section about Operation Health from Rainbow Six Siege. If you haven't read up on that or anything like that, that's something that I would absolutely love that sometime this year we literally just give the devs, like maybe during the summer or something like that when hardly anyone plays, be like, hey, just take 2 months and refine and get this game running perfectly. Just do it. Just do it. Just do an Operation Health. But they're acknowledging their stuff. I like it. Like it's going. And like that. And the issues they resolved are good. I like it. To me, I just feel like maybe an Operation Health might be needed in the future. So I'm going to keep it in my pocket and not fire off the battle charges to try to get that done soon. So, but let me know any more bugs you guys have run into. Talked earlier on it, but let me know what your guys' thoughts on these or any other bugs that they need to fix. So, ship balancing. I think this is actually a great update for ship balancing overall. It moves a lot of things into the right direction or really into a good position, but we're going to get to those. I don't want to tease anything too soon. But Tier 6 Destroyer Hatsuharu got a torpedo range, damage, and concealment buffs pretty much all across the board. That's great for the Hatsuharu. It's a little bit of a rougher ship, kind of makes it a little bit more player friendly and a little bit more fun. Same thing with the Shiratsuyu, basically a similar buff overall. That's good. That entire line I feel like needs a little bit more than just a few buffs and little number changes. I think they need some love that kind of have aged poorly. But Yoshino got a buff. Okay, cool. Didn't need it. Awesome. I'll take it. I think that's awesome. Alaska. Okay, so this is a ship I actually had to play like 5-6 times to really feel it. And I'm going to get into it when I get into the tier maker section of this video, but it's good. It's not bad now. I'm surprised. It kind of got what it needed. It's not insane, but it's not bad anymore. So I'm happy that they gave the Alaska. They really did give the super cruisers kind of a little bit of a lift. So I'm happy about that. Anchorage added smoke generator 1x2. Anchorage is actually usable now, guys. Hey, and lady, hi honey. So because we all know there's probably only one girl watching it. It's my wife. Puerto Rico, the deck armor increase of 15 millimeters doesn't seem like much. I'm now, yeah. It's worth it now. It's a fun ship to me. It still needs a little bit of love. It does. But in my opinion, just because of the guns, the skills, its whole setup, I think now the Puerto Rico is in a good place overall. It can kind of combat a lot of different things, and that's kind of what it was supposed to be for. So, Ohio, 800 HP increase. Still a good ship. Talon decreased by 1.5 seconds on reload. That's awesome. That ship was desperately in need of that. Still don't know if I'm going to grind it, but let's go through let's keep on talking. Riga got a 1 second reload time buff, and then also got a firing range increase along with a bow armor damage increase. I've heard a lot of issues on the Riga, but I've also heard a lot of people kind of going, it's not that bad. So it's not great. It's not good, but it's not bad either. So it's obviously more in the playable section. I haven't been able to play it, but maybe I'll try to sneak in a few games soon. I did play a few games in the Pietro Pavlovsk. If I just slaughtered that, I apologize. No. Maybe unlock it. Don't buy it. It's not worth it still. It needed the Talon amount of buff on its main battery reload time. It needed potentially a turret traverse buff along with a accuracy buff and maybe rapid reload too, like I was talking to IIDD this morning on. Personally, to me, increasing the bow armor, it really should be a glass cannon. Its guns should be absolutely fantastic. It should be a massive damage dealer because it has no actually support skills. It's all about that damage. So, sure, buff the armor all you want. That doesn't save that it can't do a lot of damage. It does it better now, but not by much. So, I would highly... maybe the grind's better. The end of the line is bad. Maybe they're trying to map it just like the Kaba and the Grozovoy. Because those two ships suck, and their tier 9s are amazing. Who knows? Conspiracy theory time, maybe. Alexander Nevsky, main battery reload time reduced by 0.2 seconds, and better firing range. Good. Alexander didn't need it, but I'll take it. It's a good ship. It's a good solid ship, especially the Donskoy line, or Donskoy and then the Shapayev. Great ships. I like them. Great radar cruisers and absolutely can rip things apart. Siegfried, scout plane. Raise your hand or comment down below if you were confused by this buff, because that pretty much shocked everyone that I saw. Though I'm not hearing any complaining. Not hearing any complaining. Thunderer. Okay, this ship went from playable to... God, I want it, and I'm... If the Colbert wasn't coming out, I probably would have just tried to get as much steel as possible to unlock the Thunderer. But damn, it's good now. The extra the extra repair kit that you get, this needs to be on all British battleships. Pure, plain, simple. Needs to be on all of them. They need something, or they need a higher heal like Nelson gives it, or something like that. The Thunder is in a great position right now. I wouldn't say that it's meta or, this like killer machine now. It's just solid. It can take on any threat with that HE. It can deal massive AP damage. A lot of people forget about that. And its skills in battle can actually do some really good. So to me, Thunder is an amazing place. If you happen to have it, try it out again. It's worth it. Colbert. Let's talk about this. It got a near 3-second decrease in its max speed. To max speed. Zero to max speed decrease. It did get a slight nerf, but a buff with the engine accelerator 4, now that it's in via the French DDs, and a reduced usage. This thing makes it a bat out of hell. This is amazing. This is straight up I did not see this being the buff that the Colbert needed, but it definitely was. You can now survive by literally just being stopped and going. You can dodge shells. The moment someone fires, especially from a longer shell arc ship, they fire, you just dodge. It's a unique buff. I'm up for it. I still think it needs better AA, but at the same time, Colbert's in a good spot. Colbert is definitely in a good spot. Okay, on to the tier maker. Now that we got all that through all the update notes, I think it's a really good update overall. I don't really think that it's a bad update. I think almost everything moves in the right direction except for the bugs that came up. I think that's a little sloppy, and also pushing it out over the time that all of your devs are away is kind of a dick move to the devs. Don't do that again. Just release it when everyone's on hand, like on a Tuesday or something, to make sure that you're not keeping devs there over the weekend, or you're not trying to release a half-assed fix only to break more things in the end. So please, let's just strive away from that. But on to tier maker, let's kind of talk about it. Alaska. So the buffs to it, in my opinion, are great. I think it definitely moves it to playable. It's got better armor. It just still can't hit. It can't. It's just, no. Its accuracy is really rough, but at the same time, it's now in a good stage. It can now tank a few other heavy cruisers or cruisers of its area and actually kind of win on those fights. So that's a good thing. Anchorage, in my opinion, this went right up to good. This is now pretty solid. If I can find out where I'd want to put it here, but yeah, right there. Whatever. Trying to go alpha order while I'm trying to talk to you. It's really fun. But Anchorage with those 2 smokes, it does bring out, okay, now with the lesser skills and lesser abilities compared to the Buffalo and torpedoes, now it actually has smoke to kind of hide in order to do more damage and stay alive more. So I think it's in a very good state right now. Props on them for adding that. Great idea. So the Siegfried, specifically, this is kind of a unique buff, and I've kind of had my mind changed by specifically someone. I'm not going to give them their, I'm kidding, it's Alistair. How are you doing, dude? But Siegfried, in my opinion, is actually more in the good section. So the reason I say that, and the buff really doesn't do anything, it was just me kind of giving it crap because it was kind of Ganizing out at tier 9. The scout plane does give it kind of something unique. It's now not just a brawler, it now can actually shoot running away DDs pretty easily, or ships that are running away, and or over islands. It gives it kind of this, okay, either I'm brawling or I'm sniping, and it's a pretty decent sniper, so I wanted to make sure everyone kind of knew. Siegfried, I kind of gave it a little bit of a rough pass, but I wanted to kind of fix that this time. Alright, on to the tier 10 tier maker on this. Puerto Rico, I'm going to move it to competitive. I think that it barely fits itself in competitive, but it's still just an overall good package. And I think that buff to the armor, it just really needed that. I think it's good. I wouldn't say it's overly competitive or borderline top or meta, but it definitely is in that right position. Nevsky, it just solidifies its position in competitive. I really do believe that it needs a rudder shift buff. So basically give it the ability to turn a little bit quicker, make it so it can dodge, because it is a long-range shooter. It is having to deal with incoming fire from battleships. Make it a little bit easier to dodge those shells by making it a little bit maneuverable. But overall, still competitive, still in a good place. Thunderer, it goes up to competitive immediately. I want to play it more before I push it past competitive or meta, because it's now have to go against the whole repertoire up there. But to me, it's definitely in a competitive state right now. Its armor has kind of been fixed by giving an additional heal, but you also have to survive long enough to use that heal. But either way, I think personally, this shows that the Conqueror needs to get that 4 heals along with the Thunderer. I think that entire line needs a whole kind of unique heal and or 4 heals as well. Just kind of give them that and call it good. And that will kind of make the entire line pretty good and pretty fun. Especially like, maybe tier 7 and up, get it. But Colbert, so it's in Troll. Let me move this down. It's in Troll. I still believe it sits in Troll, but it could be argued niche or even borderline competitive. I'm not gonna move it because it is still, I still believe it is a troll ship. You can get nuked from any time, but those guns just, they do what they do. They do. So, man, it's such a fun ship, and I think it fits the Somers and the Hargumo really well right there. So I think it's great. But to me, it's just a troll ship. It stays in that position, but understand that it's borderline competitive now, especially. And or it is sitting in niche depending on who you're talking to. So Colbert is a great ship. Yoshino, that buff, that's just enough. It's totally now competitive. I know it has armor problems, but if you're obviously a pretty decent player and you can work and try to minimize that disadvantage with the armor, the guns are great, the torps are great, the stealth is amazing, the skills are amazing. It can absolutely dish out a lot of damage. I would highly suggest grabbing up and picking up the Yoshino if you can, if you like that style of a sneaky battlecruiser. But yeah, no, I think it definitely fits similar to that of the Puerto Rico, where it's borderline competitive. It's definitely okay. You can call it competitive, but we all know if buff a few other ships, it goes right back down to niche. So, or go for the Puerto Rico, it probably goes right back down to playable. But either way, let me know your thoughts on the tier maker changes. Let me know your thoughts on this update. Thank you all for such a fun time and loving the final video for 2021. And I can't wait to show you what I have planned for this year. I've got a lot of awesome videos coming up. If you join Patreon, you'll actually have an early preview of every single video I put up. And or join Discord, as sometimes I give up hot takes of new ships like the Nutrishima, which I probably could have done in this one, but I can tell you that the Nutrishima, or whatever it is, the new Russian Friesland that has torpedoes, it's definitely a collector's item. It's so bad, it's so bad. But either way, I'm gonna end this video before I keep on ranting and raving. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all, especially if you made it this far, and Happy New Year once again. I can't wait to see what this new year gives us. Have a good one. Peace.